Hello, today we would like to introduce you our new side-by-side epoxy adhesive cartridges, but also at the same time our side-by-side application dispensers. Today I have with me one manual hand dispenser, and I also have one pneumatic hand dispenser as well. So as you recall, we have these cartridges, so we call these coaxial cartridges. But now we are switching from these to these side-by-side cartridges. Just to recall, so I have 50-55 here. As you remember, this is 1-to-1 mixing ratio epoxy adhesive. So with this product, what we are only changing is the cartridge. So this means that 50-55 is going to change into this one, which is 1-to-1. As you can see, the diameters are also equal to each other. This is 1-to-1 50-55 epoxy adhesive. For your information, the samples that I have today are not the final samples. It is just for showcasing to you how the cartridge and the dispenser are looking like. Also here I have 50-65. Even though the 50-55 and 50-65 looks similar to each other, actually 50-65 is a 2-to-1 mixing ratio product. So this means that we have one component and 2 times the other components, A and B component inside. So this means that this is an example of TEROSON EP1401, which is also 2-to-1 mixing ratio, but also the packaging of 50-65 will be similar to this one. So when you have 50-65, you will have this kind of 1-to-2 mixing ratio cartridge form factor. We discussed what has changed with the cartridges. Now we are switching from coaxial cartridge to side-by-side cartridge. Let's discuss now what has changed with the nozzles. So this one on the right hand side, as you can see, the previous nozzle, and this is the new nozzle. Even though they look different in size, in length, actually they are same. If you take a look into the green elements inside, they are exactly at the same time. Also the diameter, the width is also same. So in terms of mixing performance, mixing ratio, everything is exactly the same. So there is no change in the mixing performance. What is different is actually mainly this green nut. In the previous version, we have this green nut, and it is absolutely required because first we attach the nozzle on top of the cartridge, and then we tighten the nozzle on top of the cartridge with the help of this green nut. So now with the new nozzle, we don't have this anymore because the threads are already designed on the nozzle itself. So we have the threads on the nozzle, so simply you just need to attach the nozzle on the cartridge and then rotate it to tighten it. Also another point that I need to mention, a minor change, is the opening of the tip. With the previous one, we have a narrower tip, and when we were working with higher viscosity products, sometimes we needed to cut to make the opening bigger. But with the new one, we already have slightly wider opening, which will allow us to dispense more product more easily during the application. So now let's take a look into the dispensers. First, I will start with the manual handheld dispenser. Now, first of all, I would like to show you how we can move the plunger, the piston rod. So as you can see here, there is a button. So in order to move the piston rod freely, first of all, you need to push this red button, and then you can move the piston rod freely. Also, another feature that I would like to show you here is this small knob. So if you take a look closely, it is showing us the diameter symbols. So now this is at the moment set to 1-to-1, but if I move it this side, now it is set to 2-to-1. Since I am going to demonstrate first the 1-to-1 product, so I will leave it like this. Also, another point that I would like to mention about the dispenser is about these interchangeable housings. So with the dispenser, normally you have different set of plastic sets of this housing coming together with the dispenser. So this one is suitable for 1-to-1. If you take a look inside in the bottom, here you can see that this is suitable for 1:1 and 2:1 mixing ratio. But we also have, as I mentioned, this set of housing, interchangeable housings, coming together with the dispenser. So this one, for example, suitable for 200 ml 4:1 mixing ratio. But since we don't have such products in VRM, 4:1 or 10:1 mixing ratio, we will not need this at all. So we will just continue with this one. So as I already explained, we can freely move the piston rod like this. But also another good feature, so as you can see, the plungers are different in diameter. But we also have a solution for that, because with the package, there is also an interchangeable plunger coming together with the dispenser. So if you just want to change this, you can just take this, untighten the screw, and then you can replace this one. So you will have exactly 1:1 mixing ratio. But as we are now going to work also with the 2:1 mixing ratio product, so I need to leave it like this. So then it will work with both of them. Finally, one more feature about the dispenser, but I think I need to demonstrate this. So in order to install the product, first let's pull the plunger back. And then I will just take 2:1 mixing ratio product. But you need to take care of is that smaller diameter piston rod is in the bottom. So I need to also position it in the same way. And also there is kind of a groove here. So this will exactly go this part of the cartridge. So it will slightly slide in easily. But you need to make sure, what you need to make sure is that you need to apply some pressure so that it goes all the way in, and only in this case, the dispenser will work properly. So once you want to take it out, of course you can do this, but this will be a difficult way to do that. So there is a much easier way to do that. You see that button in the bottom? So you simply push this button and the product will come out. Let me demonstrate this one more time. So now it is properly installed. I heard the click sound, and when I want to move this out, you push the button and the product comes out. Okay, so let's see how it works in action. First, I'm going to demonstrate how we are going to handle 1:1 mixing ratio 50-55 together with the manual dispenser. And then I am going to show you TEROSON EP1401 2:1 mixing ratio together with the pneumatic dispenser. First of all, let's start preparing the product. Now we need to open the cartridge, so it is quite easy. So we just untighten the product. So as you can see, this is a very similar look to what we have with TEROSON EP55 coaxial cartridge. So now I am going to attach the mixing nozzle, but before that, for sure, what is important, as we always do, to equalize the cartridge, and we make sure that both components are coming at the same time. To do that, so let's install the product into the dispenser. Now we heard the click sound. And let's dispense and see that both components are coming at the same time equally, so which looks perfect. Now we are going to attach the nozzle. And make sure that it is tightened properly. And as you know, we need to dispense again one more time, about 5 centimeters to make sure that we have homogeneous mixing. So as you can see, it's quite easy, but also as normal, what I did, which you didn't see on the camera, is to push the button after the application to release the tension on the piston rod. So now I'm going to demonstrate this actually how to do it. So if I hold it in this way, maybe you can see it in a better way. And as you can see, the product is still coming out. And to release the tension, I just push the button in the back, and now the tension is released and the product is not coming out anymore. So this is just as easy as it is. So now I want to remove the cartridge from the dispenser. First of all, I need to pull the plunger, the piston rod back, so that the plungers are not inside the cartridge. And then as I showed you before, you just need to push this button in the bottom so that it is coming out very easily. Now let's switch to the demonstration of the 2-to-1 mixing ratio with the pneumatic dispenser. So what we have here, again, we also have this interchangeable inner housing which is suitable for 1-to-1, 2-to-1 mixing ratios. Again, we have the piston rod and the plungers inside, but also, again, you can replace those as well. Here we have the push button, which helps us to remove the product out of the dispenser. Also, in the back, we have a button again, but this time we don't pull the piston rod manually by hand, but as soon as actually you push this button, the piston rod will retreat automatically. And obviously on the front side we have our trigger, so as soon as you push the trigger, the piston rod will move. And here we have a valve, adjustment valve. So this one helps us to adjust the pressure according to desired extrusion speed. So I am just going to demonstrate. So I will just push the button, how the pistons are moving. And let me rotate in this way. In order to retreat the piston rod back, so you just need to push this button in the back. You see, it is very easy, and it goes back automatically. So if you have higher pressures, obviously it will move much more faster. So let's try it again. You see, now it's much faster. And now it is again retreating much faster. So I will dial down a bit the pressure so that it is not moving too fast. Also, one more point that I would like to show you here. I think it's a very good benefit and feature that we have with this dispenser. You see there is a small red rod here. As you pull the trigger, this red rod is also moving together with the piston rod. So this is an indicator. As you see, it is aligned with the piston rod here. So this is an indicator showing us how much product left inside the cartridge. So this is absolutely a very good feature, because once you attach the cartridge inside the dispenser, there is no way that you can see exactly where the piston rod is and how much material is remaining. But by just looking at that, you can easily tell how much product is left in your cartridge. So let's move back again, and let's prepare the cartridge. So now this time I'm going to demonstrate 2-to-1 mixing ratio, and in this case it is TEROSON EP1401. As I mentioned, all the products now I am showcasing here are the lab samples just for the demonstration purposes. So these are not the actual products that you are going to receive. But the form factor, the cartridge will be exactly the same. So let's open the cartridge again. And again, as you can see, the smaller diameter plunger is in the bottom. So I need to make sure that also the small diameter goes to bottom. Then I will apply some pressure, and we are supposed to hear the click sound. Now it is properly installed. Now let's dispense some product. And as you know, we need to equalize our cartridge and make sure that both components are running at the same time. Important to tighten it properly. And let's dispense the product again about 5 centimeters. Okay, so let's dispense some product now. Okay, let's say now we are finished with the application and I want to remove the product outside of the dispenser. So what I need to do is to push this button in the back, and here you can see exactly how much product I used. So this part is the remaining, so I still have more than half of the product inside the cartridge. So now I am going to push this button and the piston rod will move back. So now I can push this button. So you see it is coming out very easily. And also here you can see how much material is left. In case of any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. All of us are here to support you with the local AE and regional AEs. And let's make this happen.